2020 has been a very, very weird year for the DJ scene. Of course, DJs make their money through touring the world at festivals, at clubs, at events, and well, they've not been able to do that this year, so they've had to come up with new ways to continue their popularity and continue to make money. And truth be told, some DJs have done it better than others. So I'm going to do this by splitting it into two categories: the top 5 best DJs of 2020, the top 5 worst DJs of 2020. Now, before we get into the video, it's worth explaining my thought process behind choosing each DJ and maybe why I've put them in a certain section. Now, the main reason and the deciding factor whether a DJ's had a good year or a bad year is basically how have they progressed from the years before. So let's say a DJ had a massive 2018, a big 2019, then in 2020 they've barely done anything, then of course they've had a bad 2020. Even though they still might be a really popular DJ and their old music might still be getting millions of plays, they've had a bad 2020 because they're not really doing anything. They've not progressed their career. On the flip side of that, there might be a DJ from 2019 that no one had heard of. It might be, a DJ that is brand new, and in 2020 they've managed to get, a couple of big hits. They've managed to top the Beatport chart, or they've managed to big online following on YouTube or something. Then they've had a good 2020 because their career has progressed well from the previous years. But enough explaining, let's get into the top 5 countdown. Who's had a good 2020? Who's had a bad 2020? And the 5th best DJ of 2020 for me is a guy called Endor. Endor is a DJ from the UK, and of course at the start of the year he had a massive hit with his track Pump It Up, which has received over 100 million plays on Spotify. This song was loved across the country. Everybody from all over, all ages, all genders were listening to this track. Everyone loved it. And since then he's been releasing loads of other new music that have done really well too, and he's currently number 1 on the Beatport chart with the massive house banger Fur. So Endor's had a very good 2020. Somebody that hasn't had a good 2020, the 5th worst DJ of 2020 for me, is Medusa. He had 2 massive hits with his tracks Piece of Your Heart and Lose Control that actually have a combined total plays of over 1 billion, which is mental to think about. And since the start of 2020, he's not really done anything. He's released a couple of remixes. They've not really done very well. He's got no online DJ sets, like Lockdown, stay home DJ sets. He's got none of them. He's basically done nothing in 2020. And if you look from where he was at the end of 2019 and where he is now, his popularity and everything else kind of declined a little bit. So yeah, Medusa's not had a good year in 2020. The 4th best DJ of 2020 for me is Charlotte DeWitt. She's released loads and loads of new music this year, including 3 EPs. She's got loads of online DJ sets that have become really popular, hundreds of thousands of plays on them. She's been very, very active online. It's been a very good thing to see. Lots of respect for Charlotte DeWitt. She's had a very, very good 2020. The 4th worst DJ of 2020 for me is a man called Reboot. Now, this is actually painful for me to say because I really love Reboot. His music is sick, but just like Medusa, he had some big hits in 2018, 2019, like Along Came Polly, The Pipe, and well, he's kind of fell off the face of the earth. He's not really released anything this year of note. He has got a couple of tracks that have got like 10,000 plays. So again, very, very small in terms of how the numbers he was doing and what he's doing now. Not great. He's not got any online DJ sets either. So compared to where he was and the hype that was behind Reboot, he's kind of lost that hype at the moment now. Obviously hoping that he can regain that at some point because I really do like his music. But yeah, he's not had a great 2020. For me, the 3rd best DJ of 2020 is your man James Hype. Now, we all love James Hype. Who doesn't love James Hype? He is absolutely blew up on YouTube this year. He's getting over 1.5 million views a month on his YouTube channel, and so far in 2020 he's gained over 100,000 subscribers. He's releasing loads of new music, loads of new remixes that are getting millions and millions of plays on Spotify, and he also dropped his Stereo Hype brand online, which is banging, doing really good sales and stuff. So yeah, James Hype will look back on 2020 as that year that he actually smashed, and he had a very, very good year online, and I'm sure he's proud of it. The 3rd worst DJ of 2020 is Major Lazer. Now, Major Lazer are obviously one of the biggest DJs groups in the world, billions and billions of plays these guys have. You know, these are big players in the DJ scene. However, this year they've not really released anything of note. Now, they have released some music, but they've done very low numbers compared to what they're used to. They have no online DJ sets. And again, you know, this is one of those massive DJs that they need the festivals, they need the big events to kind of hold them up, to maintain their popularity. And for me, this year, they've not done as well as they have done in previous years. So yeah, Major Lazer, not a great year for them. The second best DJ of 2020 for me, who has had a great year, is Camouflage. Now, they haven't exactly done much online in terms of DJ sets. They've done a couple, but not many. But the reason why they're number 2 on this list is because they've managed to complete their album. An album of over 20 songs is a massive achievement, especially considering they've been releasing singles all year that have been doing really well on Spotify and on YouTube. You know, they've got millions of plays on those tracks. But for me, when this album does drop, Dark Matter, it's going to be a banger. It's going to be played everywhere. Because there's so many songs on there, there's going to be something for everybody. Everyone's going to love this album. It's going to do very well in the charts, on Beatport, and the UK official charts, I'm sure. So Camouflage have had a very good 2020. And I'm sure they'll look back on this year as, you know, that year they got that album done. That year they kind of completed that body of work, and they'll be very happy with what they have achieved this year. The second worst DJ of 2020 for me is your man Eric Prydz. Now, this pains me again. I love Eric Prydz. Loved his set at Creamfields 2019. But this year, he's had a stinker. He's not really done anything. He's released no new music at all. He's got no online DJ sets. And, you know, it's one of those years where in previous years, he's a legend in the scene. But he always releases a song or two. And because, you know, he tours the world and he always has these amazing visual effects. He always has these viral videos of his visual effects and crazy stuff that goes on at his parties. Because he can't do that, it's almost like he's kind of disappeared. And, you know, it's sad to see. I'm sure he will bounce back, though, of course, when clubs reopen, when festivals reopen. He'll be back on them headlining. He'll be back on the main stage, killing it, being as popular as ever. I'm sure he'll release more music eventually. But in 2020... he's not done anything, so he's had a very bad year. Now here we are, we're at the number 1 best DJ of 2020, number 1 worst DJ of 2020. I'm going to tell you the best DJ and then I'll get into the worst DJ. The best DJ of 2020 for me is a guy called Corry. Now this guy has absolutely blew up this year, like blew up to the maximum that you could possibly do, right? Considering where he was a year or two ago to where he is now, he's kind of times his fan base by like 100, and that's not even exaggeration. He's had massive hits with Lonely and Head and Heart, tracks that have got millions and millions of plays. And his online DJ sets too have been very good. He's been hosting a Kiss FM radio show every single week that is doing really good numbers too. He will look back on this year as a year that he achieved those massive hits. You know, number 1 in the official UK charts is a big thing to achieve. I'm sure it's made him a lot of money too. So he'll look back on this year as being his most successful year to date. And considering where he was to where he is now, very successful year for Corry. Fair play to you. And now, coming in at the worst DJ of 2020. It's going to be a controversial one, and I want you to listen to my opinion before you just dislike the video. It's your main man, Fisher. Now, I love Fisher just as much as you do, right? He's got some bangers. I've seen him plenty of times live. He is a sick DJ. However, his 2020 has been terrible. Very bad. The reason why, of course, is because he's had massive years. 2018, 2019, big years for him. Loads of new music being released. And loads of the new music that he was releasing was doing very well. You know, You Little Beauty, of course, we know. Losing It was another massive track. You know, these tracks are iconic dance tracks now. And this year, he's only released 2 tracks. He released his Freaks EP with the track Freaks and the tracks Wanna Go Dancing. Both of them have very few plays on YouTube. Now, I'm literally talking like these songs have like 100,000 views on YouTube, which is terrible. Like, for somebody of his kind of stature now, somebody of his respect, he should be getting millions of plays on his tracks compared to where he was at, you know, with Losing It and You Little Beauty and Stop It and all of his other tracks. Considering the numbers that he's achieved this year, he's dropped massively. And of course, he's done 0 online DJ sets. He's not done any live streams or anything like that. And his year 2020 has been terrible compared to his other years. Now, obviously, that comes down to because he's a performer, isn't he? He stands behind the decks, he dances around, he gets the party going. He's a performer. He's best when he is behind the decks. The videos that he does on his Instagram and his YouTube and stuff when he's performing are insane. And because he can't perform, he's not being able to really do anything. And obviously, there's question marks about whether he's got ghost producers and stuff, so he's not releasing much music. So it's just a stinky year for Fisher. He's not really done anything. His popularity has gone down. His views, his plays on Spotify, his monthly listeners, everything's gone down to from where they was. So you've got to say Fisher's probably, for me, had the worst year of 2020, considering where he was. You know, obviously he's still getting plays and stuff. You know, he's still probably doing better than some other DJs are, but considering where he was to where he is now, he's not built on that. He's not got more successful. He's not got better. He's kind of declined. He's done less. And yeah, definitely feel sorry for Fisher. I hope he comes back bigger and better than ever. I hope he comes back with some bangers eventually when the clubs reopen. I'm sure he's going to be headlining places and he's going to smash it. But for 2020, it's not been great. So yeah. And thank you so much for watching, guys. That is my top 5 best DJs of 2020, top 5 worst DJs of 2020. Get involved down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Did you disagree with me? Did you agree with me? I'm sure loads of you disagree with some stuff I said. That's absolutely fine. It was pretty hard coming up with this list. And, you know, because it's not only just naming someone, you've got to give a good reason why you think that person is there. Now, of course, if some people I probably forgot about, maybe someone's had a good year or a bad year, let me know down in the comments and let me know your guys' opinion. But, I'm grateful for you watching and thanks for your time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop the video a like. I'm going to have a brand new mix coming out this Friday at 3 p.m. So make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on. It's going to be the best tech house songs of 2020. I've already created the set list for it, and trust me, there's some big tracks in here. So make sure you don't miss out. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you're here Friday at 3 p.m. to check that mix out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good day and see you later. Bye bye.